Welcome to the University of Michigan Medical School Grant Services and Analysis Office, a unit of the Medical School Office of Research. My name is Sarah Sabag, and I am presenting a series, Strategies for Proposal Success. To date, investigators rely on grants to support their research. However, it has become increasingly difficult to secure proposal funding. In response, researchers need proactive strategies that effectively communicate their project's resilience, sustainability, and impact. In this video, we discuss strategies for proposal success, which include understanding funding announcements and aligning proposals with a sponsor's mission. Preparing a grant is a time-consuming process, so planning your application well in advance is critical to ensure you write a proposal that is both responsive to a funding opportunity as well as compelling to the reviewers. Before drafting anything, read the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or NOFO, thoroughly to ensure your proposal aligns with the mission and values of the potential funder. Here I show an example of a NOFO from the NIH for an R01 research project. To understand the requirements and eligibility, in this example, one would go to the table of contents and read the overview information, eligibility information, and funding opportunity description. After determining if your project is suitable for the award, check the submission deadline or key dates. Make sure you have ample time to do the research prior to outlining and drafting the proposal. Allotting time before the submission deadline is key to allow for unforeseen delays, revisions, and to address last-minute adjustments. Additionally, compare your project scope with the NOFO's budget. This ensures ensuring your project scope or a detailed description of the project's objectives, goals, timelines, and deliverables are realistic, achievable, and within the budget constraints. Finally, check the section titled Other Information to ensure you have followed all rules and requirements. Before you write a single word of narrative, read through everything the application requires. Make a list of every document, every signature, and every piece of information you'll need to collect from someone else and send those requests immediately. Another strategic skill for proposal success is the ability to articulate a compelling program narrative. Indeed, strong projects can falter when reviewers cannot quickly understand what problem the research addresses, why it matters beyond a narrow context, or how it aligns with a funder's goals. In these cases, rejection reflects a gap in communication rather than a lack of good ideas. What is the program narrative? This section identifies the goals you intend to accomplish in each program area. This includes your objectives, which should be specific and include the goals, scope, method of accomplishment, a timeline for completion, and resources. How do you create an impactful narrative in response to a NOFO? Begin by assessing whether there are required sections that are standard to the funding agency or mechanism. If so, refer to the agency's proposal guidelines document. Next, make it easy for reviewers to find your answers to the instructions by organizing your proposal in the same format described or implied in the NOFO. Finally, reflect the language the funding agency uses to describe the program and its mission. Here you check the agency's website for information. Use these keywords strategically throughout your proposal. A good way to implement this is to create subject headings, graphics, bullets, and bolded statements using language similar to that used in the funding announcement. Ultimately, a well-written narrative not only clarifies the project's purpose, but also helps secure funding and support by demonstrating its feasibility and impact. For both federal and foundation grants, building a relationship with a program officer or agency equivalent personnel is a strategic way for researchers to align their scientific interests with the specific goals of the funding agency and discuss whether their work aligns with the funder's mission. This is important since within federal agencies, such as the NIH, each NIH ICO has its own scientific mission, priorities, and budget. Engaging in dialogue with a PO can determine whether the researcher's concept is a good fit for the program's objectives and whether your work fits into the institution's scientific portfolio priorities. It can also provide advice about project design and appropriate funding mechanisms, help you ascertain trends in preferred research methodologies, and identify possible limits in project duration and budget. Further, for resubmissions, engaging with a PO is key for discussing results of the scientific peer review of your grant application. Thus, POs can provide valuable input. For NIH grants, The NIH Reporter website contains the Matchmaker tool, wherein you enter your abstract or other scientific text to find potential POs, institutes, centers, and review panels for your research. Our final strategy for proposal success includes making sure you clearly demonstrate that you and your team have the expertise and institutional support necessary to conduct your research. Many resources are available at the University of Michigan to enhance your research. Regarding expertise, many grant funding agencies, including federal and private foundations, are encouraging collaborative approaches through their funding priorities. For example, funding agencies are increasingly structuring NOFOs and programs to favor interdisciplinary research teams. At the University of Michigan, to find research expertise and foster collaboration, scan a QR code that links to Michigan experts. This is a searchable database of faculty profiles across the U of M, where you'll find publications, social media activity, and potential collaborators. At the U of M, Research Corps offers services and instrumentation across the campuses to facilitate high-impact research. When writing your proposal, refer to those services available to assure reviewers that your team is able to conduct the research with a combination of your expertise and institutional support. Ultimately, NOFOs play a critical role in guiding proposal development. They communicate the priorities and interests of funding agencies, helping researchers focus their work to meet funders' goals. They catalyze collaboration and interdisciplinary research to enhance quality of research and innovation. It is crucial to understand what is being outlined and highlighted to shape your funding opportunity. Additionally, aligning proposals with a funder's goals and objectives is another key strategy for proposal success. Doing so demonstrates to funders that your organization is mission-driven, focused, and intentional about achieving measurable outcomes. Start with thorough research alignment. Read the NOFO or guidelines multiple times. Highlight key terms, eligibility, evaluation criteria, and required sections. Participate in webinars. Review past award abstracts if available, and contact program officers early to clarify priorities. Ensure your project fits perfectly. If not, pivot to a better match to avoid wasted effort. POs are a key resource in grant seeking. Since they often serve as a liaison between the researcher and the grant review committee, building relationships with POs is an important part of the application process that can improve chances for securing funding. Finally, we highlighted a few of the numerous resources available at the University of Michigan to strategically craft a compelling proposal. Although not an exhaustive list, these are just a few strategies intended to increase proposal funding success. By leveraging these services, from expert guidance and workshops to administrative assistance and research core support, researchers can enhance the quality of their proposals and increase their chances of securing funding. To find NOFOs that fit your proposal, start by broadly exploring agencies and offices in your interest area, then narrow your focus through targeted research and conversations with people who have firsthand experience. In regards to a broad search, the NIH Reporter is a searchable database of NIH-funded research projects. At the University of Michigan, the UM Library's grant specialists offer personalized expert funding and grant search consultation to U of M research faculty and staff. Here you can meet one-on-one with a grant specialist where you'll tell them about your research and objectives, and they can provide a list of services to guide you. At the UM, the Michigan Medicine Corporate and Foundation Relations team works with faculty, staff, and administrators to identify and promote opportunities for engagement with professional and private foundations and corporate foundations. Also at the UM, the Michigan Institute for Clinical and Health Research offers funds, connections, and support for UM personnel's research. Here they offer education, mentoring, workshops, and more. When narrowing your search, reach out to colleagues, mentors, and research administrators to see what the trends are, get ideas, and compare notes. To assist our scientists in reaching out to POs, the GS&A office has created a few tools. This includes an email template and information on considerations when writing a one-page summary of your research. Regarding the summary, we recommend that you prepare a project overview or specific aims draft for the PO so as not to overwhelm with papers and materials. We encourage you to check them out on our webpage by scanning the QR code, which will direct you to this resource. It will be found under the ribbon GS&A Resources for contacting a PO. Remember, always email a PO first and do it early in the grant development process. Don't wait until right before your grant deadline to reach out. POs are busy people. Thank you for joining us for this video. Scan the QR code to link to the GS&A webpage to see how the Medical School Office of Research provides comprehensive support for every stage of proposal development, and email us at rd-medschool@umich.edu. Thank you very much.